Blackhat is an action thriller directed by Michael Mann starring Chris Hemsworth and is a movie about a hacker that has to counter-hack another hacker who's hacking things to do bad things. The premise of this movie is pretty awesome. It's basically, you take Chris Hemsworth, an ex-hacker, and this other hacker who is a good hacker, and he can hack, nuclear plants and make them blow up and basically cause everything bad. And then the FBI comes in and says, we need you. It's true, we need you. I mean, we don't like you, but we need you. And I think stuff like that is awesome because it's this anti-hero, this bad guy who's turned good guy simply to help and to protect this bigger thing from happening. And the movie I thought was going to be this awesome hack against hack, this cool Chris Hemsworth action thriller. But then I saw this movie. Don't see this movie. Please, don't see this movie. Don't see this movie. The best analogy I have for this movie is your teacher tells you to write a 5-page essay, and you write it, and you only have 2 pages of information, and then you just think, well, just add more words. This movie was so stretched out. It was so long. Listen, I'm not one of those people that say, I don't like long movies. They're too long. I don't have time for that. I like movies no matter what length they are, but their length has to be filled with good content. So you can't take a 2.5-hour movie for a movie that essentially should be 1 hour long, if that, and just make it 2 hours, because that's going to make a lot of people angry and a lot of people tired. Speaking of being tired, I saw this movie on a Friday, 8 o'clock, prime movie scene time on its release date. There were 10 people there. I guarantee my girlfriend and I were the only ones that were actually watching the movie, simply because, not because they were doing anything else, but because they were asleep the entire movie, because this movie was so boring. And the sad thing is, I really wanted to like this movie because Chris Hemsworth, I like Chris Hemsworth, I like him as Thor, I like him in other small things he does, but I can't, because I'm just like, every time they're thinking, oh, that's cool, they do something that's, alright, well, okay, let's go, where's the cool stuff? And this movie's just so drawn out, and the movie's so random. There is literally times, I'm a vivid movie watcher, and I understand movies when I watch them. There were times where I just was like, what is going on? I literally don't understand. They'll be doing one thing, and then all of a sudden they'll be doing just a completely different thing, and I'm just so confused to why these things are happening. I'm also a huge fanatic for movie etiquette and things you shouldn't do, and the basic, you shouldn't be on your phone. And I'm not gonna lie, everybody was on their phone because nobody was watching the movie except for me and my girlfriend. Even she was on the phone a couple times, and I didn't even mind. I mean, I care so much. I mean, people can't even, when I watch movies with people can't even check their phone, let alone text or go on Instagram. Someone was on Facebook. Listen, when you are browsing Facebook during a Chris Hemsworth movie, you know something has to be wrong. I mean, as far as content goes, I don't want to spoil anything by saying too much about the story, but I feel as though I can just say some things and it's not going to make you care any more or less about the movie. But there was one scene, there was this Chinese guy, he was on lookout, through his binoculars, doing his thing, whatever, and he tells his partner to hand him his bottle of water, right? Hands him, and Propel, or I think it was a Chinese Propel, he unscrews the cap, perfect product placement, unscrews the cap, drinks it, puts it down, and that's the scene. Like, who makes a scene, a good 10-second to 15-second scene of a guy being handed a bottle of water, drinking it, and putting it down? There was another scene, again, spoiler free, but the nuclear plant blew up. That's in the trailer, so that's how the movie starts. So that's not even spoiling anything. They go back to the site. These guys are running around in masks, hazmat suits, and the three main characters they just walk through the site. Why don't they need masks? Either those people are retarded for wearing masks when they don't have to, or Chris Hemsworth and his two other sidekicks are just gods, and there's like now a Thor Blackhat crossover. I don't. But as far as acting goes, that also dropped the ball. Listen, like I said, I like Chris Hemsworth, but he didn't care. Listen, there was some points where there was such little character development in the story. I didn't care if Chris Hemsworth had died or not. Not saying he does, not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying, if he was shot, I would have kind of been thankful, saying, okay, now the movie's over. Awesome, he's dead, and now the movie's over. But besides that, all joking aside, there was no character development. And talking about caring about people, oh my god, there was this love thing that between this actress and Chris Hemsworth that I didn't buy for a second. It were basically, if you think she's attractive, you think she's attractive. That's just, they put a pretty face in the movie for her, basically to look at him, and then of course they look at each other and they spend enough time together and they look at each other some more, and then when the world seems to be crashing above their heads, they make a relationship, and oh my god, and she was just terrible. There are points in this movie where she wasn't enunciating her words, and I literally did not know what she was saying. There was a point where if it weren't for Chris Hemsworth, it was like C-3PO talking to R2-D2. The only way you know R2-D2 what he was saying, as C-3PO was responding with answers that would tell you what R2-D2 said. It was just one of those things that I was like, what did she say? And not that I really cared what she said, but the fact that I didn't understand what she was saying, nothing against her, just for the sake of the movie, you can't have your actress not enunciate words. This movie was bad. And when I say bad, I mean, I've never ever checked my phone during a movie just to see how much time was left, because I just wanted to get out of there, and I never do that. You have to understand, I try to watch a movie, but this movie was just so terrible. Listen, I might be getting on this movie too much, but you see this movie, and you'll understand. Things I'm saying are just so relevant, because you just don't understand why the movie's even happening. You don't get what's going on. You don't even know what the guys are trying to do at a point. They're doing something, then halfway through it, you're just like, wait, rewind this. What are we actually even trying to do again? Thanks to the month of January, yet again, we have another shit film. I have to give a casual rating of this a 3 out of 10, and that's only because Chris Hemsworth's in it. That's all I can do. It's just so not my cup of tea, or hopefully no one's cup of tea. For a critic review, I'm actually going to give it a 4 out of 10, which you say, how could it be higher than the casual review? Shouldn't it be the other way around? No, because there might be some things in this movie, like maybe the politics are really good, or maybe the hacking that they're talking about is really on point, but a 4 out of 10's not even saying that much. If it's saying anything, I mean, this movie was bad. I don't recommend you seeing it for anything except for maybe Chris Hemsworth, if you're into him. What do you think about Blackhat? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you like and what didn't you like? If you like what you saw today, don't forget to smack the like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button, and do everything you can to make the channel seem better than it actually is. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter @AlbinoFilms, Instagram @AlbinoFilms, and if you have any personal questions for me, contact me at albinofilms365@gmail.com. This has been an approved message from the Raging Albino. See you next time.